Hey guys, Coach Ara here at the Strong DNA. Plank is one of the most important exercises that many coaches, they're underestimating it and they're not coaching it properly. This will be a two-part video using two of my favorite tools to practice the plank. Obviously, we're gonna start with the body weight and we're gonna go through the form and how you're supposed to look like. Then in part one, we're gonna use the TRX and how we can change the plank. And our part two, we're gonna use the DVRT Ultimate Sandbag. And we will see how our muscles works towards the plank and how we can change everything. So let's go and learn how to do a proper plank. When we're talking about the plank, it's a full body structural exercise that's pretty much gonna connect some dots to each other so you can perform. It's a solid standard for many exercises. Obviously, you can kind of change the conditions while you're performing it, but it's a solid standard for many exercises. TRX is a great tool to move that plank concept and translate it to some other exercises, and we call it as an active plank. That means while we're performing an exercise, we actively gotta consider that plank and keep it over there. But first, let's go on the concept of the plank, all right? When we're talking about the plank, as I mentioned, it's a complete, full, stable exercise. That means when I'm on the floor, I wanna make sure my ears, it's gonna go complete, align with my shoulder, down to my hip, down to my ankles, translated to the floor. Even if I wanna demonstrate it as of a standing position, I can still perform a plank while I'm standing. As I say, goblet squat, when you're holding a kettlebell, this is pretty much a plank position. So I'm gonna imagine there's a paper right underneath my foot. I'm gonna make sure I'm about hip apart and I'm gonna tear apart that paper. As soon as I'm tearing it apart, what happens? My glutes are engaged. If you look at my glutes, it's all squeezed. From here, I'm gonna make a fist and squeeze it. By pulling this down, look at my lats, I'm activating my lats. All right, my chest is squeezed, my abs are squeezed, and if someone comes and wants to rotate me around, ideally it's not supposed to happen. Now, why that is important, and if I keep that, how that's gonna change the quality of an exercise. Let's give an example with the TRX rows, all right? It's an exercise, you're facing the anchor point, your straps are in a short length. From here, I'm gonna stand where my elbows are pretty much right under my shoulders, and I'm gonna lean back. But look at my body position. What am I representing here? I'm in a plank position. My hip is locked, my ear, shoulder, hip, ankles are all in one line. And when I'm performing my row, nothing moves. This is where sometimes I see videos and people are doing this. That's not how it's supposed to look like. Remember, we are actively holding that plank. That means my pelvis and rib cage are connected. Glutes are engaged. Knees are locked. Arms are straight. My neck and spine are neutral. When I pull myself, I focus on that plank. When I go down, I make sure I'm not dropping my hip because you don't do that on a plank. And that's where the active plank comes and it gets very important. Now, if I translate that to a floor, it's the same thing. Elbow right underneath the shoulder, left leg back, right leg back, about a hip apart. And from here, I'm connecting my pelvis to my rib cage. By driving my elbows slightly down, I'm activating my lats. And as you see, I'm slightly shaking right now because it is hard. Pushing my heels towards the wall, solid. No one's supposed to move you. Sometimes I see people, they do plank like they're praying. Why I don't like this personally? Because as soon as you do this, you're collapsing your shoulders. When I master the standard of my plank, then I can change the condition. I'm gonna take the stability away from my foot. That means instead of I'm keeping my leg on a stable surface like a floor, I'm gonna put it on the straps. For that, I'm going to change the length of my straps to mid-calf. On this one, I'm going to be ground facing away from the anchor point to perform my plank. Same concept. Elbows under my shoulder, squeezing my fist, raising up, make sure my feet are equalized. And then from here, as you see, everything is the same as a plank. I'm not shrugging, everything is locked, my lats are engaged, pelvis and the rib cage are engaged. Now I can make it a little bit more challenging as of, what if I want to do a full plank? I can do full arm plank. I can go down, come up. And then add different exercises. Swing my legs side to side. Nothing is changing on the standard of the plank. All right? What's supposed to be stable stays stable. What's supposed to be mobile will turn to mobile. Guys, these are very important. When we're talking about the athletic or human performance, these are the dots that needs to be connected. Some of our injuries happen just because we're not paying attention to these small dots. I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you're around Los Angeles, close to me, please make sure to stop by at the Strong DNA. If not, make sure you hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel so you get updated on the new tutorial and educational stuff regarding the fitness and human health.